Hey, so today we're going to be working on pike press to handstands. So float to handstands, which we have been working on in the past few sessions in this course. Pike press is the hardest of all for a lot of people. Again, when we are using vinyasa, this is an incredible way to pay attention to improve our pike press. Controlling your negatives when you're jumping forward can be very helpful. Now, see if you can stack your hips over when you jump forward. So again, observing how you pull the ribs in, gripping the mat, looking between the hands, and using your pivot tilt to get the hips up. As you can see what happens to my hips, but keeping the ribs in and sending the pelvis back, so it's not completely arching the back. So that's the isolation of the movements, pulling the ribs in and then using the hips to get the legs or your hips to stack and getting the legs to come up. Your knees, my recommendation is to soft bend them, not completely bend to come into tuck position, but rather soft bend into the knees as you come up, and keep pushing, pulling the ribs in. Maybe you can come up all the way to a handstands and then slowing it down. But maybe the handstand's not there yet. That's absolutely fine. But the more you can get your hips to come up and working on slowing down your descent can be very helpful, and eventually you'll be able to get your press up while you're float up, and you can also press up from the top. It's harder if you're very close to your hands, so if you're doing it from Uttanasana, it's harder to press up than coming from downward facing dog and you go halfway from here. And a little bit easier to come into, to press, to come up, because you've already given that momentum. And then again, controlling your way down. As you can see, my knees, they're bent soft. And really using my core to slow down the movement. Easy to say than done, yes, but through again practice and building awareness is the key. If your hip flexor is still quite tight or not strong enough, which we have been working on strengthening our hip flexor, and we're going to keep going into that. Having your feet slightly apart, like as if you're coming into a straddle, but not quite a straddle. It's just like this rather than the legs together. You might be able to get the hips even to stack over and then come up into a handstands, again controlling your way down. All right, so let's begin warming up our body. So let's lay down on the mats. So jumping forward and then coming into a pike and pressing up can be a lot easier than starting from the top, because now you're so close and your feet are very close to your hands and your feet are on the ground, of course. So doing it this way requires a lot more pressing and pushing, but it's a very similar action. Woo! And something like that can happen. So as you push through, what happens there is that I started collapsing because I was leaning way too forward. So I didn't really need to push down onto my fingers before lifting my legs up. That's a lot of mistakes that people do, and paying attention is the key. So from looking down, let me fix that. So I squeeze my belly to thighs, looking between the thumbs. I lift. Right now my shoulders are way too forward. I'm gonna press onto my fingers. Woo. Now I'm here. I can start to lift the legs up. And trying to find that straight line. It's the hardest, is to find a straight line. To come back down, see how I really try to get my hips to move back as I come down. Whew. Talking while doing that is not easy as well. But maybe perhaps you notice that correction that I tried to do afterwards from the first mistake that I did. So rushing is not the best. Once you start to really figure out and fine-tune this little awareness, can start to change the movement of the body. Okay, so let's begin warming up and we'll work on those movements. Lay down on your mat. This requires a shoulder opening and core compression. So let's first extend the left leg, bend the right knee into your chest, interlace the fingers behind the knee, then circle your ankle. Circle your ankle opposite direction. All right, flex your foot, pointing the toes towards your shin. Kick from the heel, and then point your toes. Flex and point. Flex and point for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Point the toes. Externally rotate slightly, not completely. Just slightly to get the leg a little bit closer towards the body, flexing your hip as much as you can. You can even place your hand between the hip and the abdomen and see if you can squeeze that. See if you can lift the head up, lift the leg up higher. As you can see, my knee is not completely straight, but not completely bent either. But just making really sure that I'm really activating my hip flexor and my core compression. Hold it here for 10, lift the head up a little bit more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Release the leg. Having your hand there can really allow you to get a lot more feedback, and you can feel it if you are turning on your hip flexor. Right now I'm bending my knee and I can feel it. Yeah, I'm bending my knee, but my core is relaxed. I lift my head up. Yeah, it's better. Squeezing even tighter. Now it's better. I breathe and I can feel my abdomen tensing. And then extend the leg. Good. Lower your head down. Let's circle our ankles. Circle your ankle opposite direction. Now flex your feet, point the toes towards your shin, bend your knee to your chest, extend the leg, bend the knee, extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extend, point your toes and flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, point your toes. Bend your knee slightly, a slight external rotation to get the leg as tight as you can towards the belly. Slightly extend, but without losing the connection. Again, you can place that one hand between the lower belly and the upper thighs. Lift the head up and keep squeezing your hand. Squeeze your hand a little bit more. 10, 9, 8. Internally rotate that right hip. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower. Take a moment to breathe. Okay, bring your arms over your head. External rotation of the shoulders. Elevate the shoulders up towards your ears as high up as you can. Notice if you start to arch your back. Tuck your pelvis, ribs in, and see if you can press your hands towards the floor, but keeping the external rotation and ribs in. Bend your knees to your chest. Extend the leg and flex your feet. lower down, nice and slow. Now, so you can keep hugging the back towards the floor. Now, as you lift the legs up, see if you can get as close as you can towards your hands. Get your feet to get as close as you can towards your hands, and then controlling the way down, keep your lower back pressing on the floor. Let's try that again. Internally rotate the leg, hug the back towards the floor. Externally rotate your shoulders, elevate the shoulders up towards your ears, bend your knees into your chest. Nice and tight. You can get your feet slightly apart as if you're in frog pose. Extend the leg, flex, 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 stay here. Nice and slow, lower your legs down. That's 2. 3. Maybe keep it extended. 4. Control the way down. That was too fast for me. 5. Slow your way down. 6. Keep your head back towards the ground. 7. 8. 9. Last one. Knees into your chest as tight as you can. Extend the leg, keep that tightness, and control your way down. Woo. And release. Breathe. Hopefully you'll feel your hip flexor really activating and squeezing to the thighs. If extending the leg is too difficult for you, then keep it bent. I want you to feel that to control your legs, you're using your hips, your hip flexor, and your core. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do some drills. Let's release the diaphragm. Exhale, empty your lungs, holding the breath and creating a stomach vacuum. Holding the breath for as long as you can until you feel the urge to breathe. So take a breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Press the lower back towards the floor. You can bring your arms over the head. Bring the breath back. Recover the breathing. Let's do that one more round. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go as much as you can. Hold the breath, relax the abdomen, stretch the diaphragm. And then bring the breath back. Cover your breathing. Okay, let's try that again. External rotation. Elevate the shoulders up towards your ears, ribs in. Bend your knees to your chest. Oh, nice. Extend the leg. Maybe you can even tap your forearm almost for me. Oh yeah, core, I feel good, better than before. Knees into the chest. Control your way down. 2, 3. Keep your head back towards the floor. 4, my count is off. 5, control the way down. That was too fast for me. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. And release. Whew. Breathe. Hug your knees to your chest, rock yourself up and back. And let's meet in forward folds. Spread your fingers, grip the mat. Externally, you rotate your shoulders. Squeeze belly to thighs, look between the thumbs. Inhale, lean onto your hands. Lean, lean, lean. And maybe you can toe tap. Maybe one foot at a time. Or maybe together. If that's very difficult, you can use your blocks to step on the blocks. And we're still warming up the shoulders, we're shifting weight onto our hands, so just exploring. No need to overdo it. We're gonna do it 2 more rounds. Look between the thumbs, inhale. Squeeze belly to thighs, lean, lean, lean. Maybe one foot, maybe the other. And then shift back. One more time, look between the thumbs, belly to thighs, squeeze. Lean, lean, lean. And shift back. Whew. Come up. Take a moment. Breathe. Gently circle the neck. Okay. Let's come into a puppy pose. Let's stretch the shoulders a little bit more. You can place the blocks like so. But if this is too high or too low, please adjust as whatever feels right for your body today. So placing your elbows onto the blocks or your palms. Walk your knees back. Externally rotate your shoulders. You can bring your palms together, drop the chest, squeeze the elbow in. Take a breath in, pull the ribs in, round the upper back. Round, 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 tuck your pelvis, tuck your pelvis. Exhale, let the heart sink. Again, round the upper back. Arch. 3. Round the upper back. As you press the chest down, arch, let it sink. 4. Round, round, round. As you drop the chest a little bit more, keep rounding the upper back as you push your chest down. Arch the back, let it sink. 6. Round, round, round. Hold it here. Let it sink. Again, round, 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 as much as you can. As you press the chest down, let it sink. Last one, round, round, round. Hold it here, keep pressing the chest down for 5, 4. Keep pressing as you round the upper back. 3, 2, and 1. Come out of the pose. Walk your knees back. Take a moment to breathe. Circle the shoulders. And circle the shoulders opposite direction. All right, bring your arms into a T, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to circle the shoulders. You will feel those nerves also moving as we do this. 3, 2, and 1. Circle the shoulders opposite direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your head back to center. Circle the wrist. Bring your arms up. Bring your arms forward. Turn your head to the right. Bring your arms back. Turn your head to the left. Keep circling the arms. Bring it forward. Bring your head back to center. Look up. Circle the wrist opposite direction. Keep looking up, but tuck your chin to your chest. Then extend the arms to the side, round through the spine. Inhale, reach your hands up. Cactus your arms, open up the heart. Exhale, round through the spine. One more. Inhale, reach up. Cactus your arms, open up the heart, shoulders down. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Lift the chest, breathe in. Exhale, tuck your chin. Ground your head down towards the floor. Bring the arms over the head. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Come out of the pose. Release. Shake them up. Shake your hands. Okay, let's work on our grip. Hug the elbow in. Curl your fingers. Make a fist. Flex the wrist. Open up the hands. Flex, flex, flex. Grip your fingers. Flex the feet. Flex your wrist. Open up. Extend the wrist. Curl your fingers as much as you can. Flex, flex, flex. Open it up. Keep going. Focusing on your thumb and your index knuckle curling in inwards. 3, 2, and 1. Shake them up. Whew. That is fire. Okay. Okay, let's prepare ourselves against the wall. You're going to use the wall to press up. You can use the crown of the head, but don't look for the wall with your head. You push, you focus on pushing and leaning and gripping, looking between the thumbs as you lean forward, and notice as you shift, maybe my head will touch the wall as I lean, as I grip, and then I'm gonna work on lifting my hips. You can use the wall to support you so you don't lean too much onto your fingers, and make sure that you're pressing away, pushing back. Come up to give you a little bit of leverage. Again, if you need to use a table, please do so. But otherwise, if you're using the blocks, squeeze belly to thighs, hands onto the floor, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then shift your weight onto your hands, lean, lean, lean. If the wall touches your head, try not to touch it. You press onto your fingers. If it touch, find the momentum to get the hips. If you still need that momentum to stick the butt back. Okay, look between the thumbs. Squeeze belly to thighs, lean, and use your hips to lift up. Lift up a little bit more. And if you touch the wall, you can bring your legs together before you get your feet to the wall. Align the shoulders first towards your wrist, then touch the wall with your feet. Tuck your pelvis to get your body off the wall. Extend one leg, and then the other, making sure that you're pushing away. If you lose balance, that's okay. Pressing onto the wall, tucking your pelvis, leaning onto your hands and your fingers. Okay, to come back down, bend your knees, lean onto your hands, and to your head onto the wall, round through the spine, belly to thighs as you lower down. Make sure you fight your way down and you're not collapsing on your shoulders. So if you find that you're struggling to get the hips high, adjust your distance from the wall, whether you need to go closer or you need to go further. If your shoulders, if you're so close, you're so far away from the wall, what's gonna happen is that your arms, your hands are gonna be way too further back away from the shoulder. The shoulder is passing your wrist too much, and you're gonna struggle to press onto your fingers. But if you're too close to the wall, then you're gonna struggle to push because you need that weight forward. So adjust your space against the wall. But if you're still struggling, add more blocks. Add more blocks or use a table to get a little bit higher. Okay, now we're gonna go away from the wall, because the wall is good to practice to strengthen the shoulders, but you can never find balance and really teach yourself to find balance away from the wall if you don't practice it away from the wall. So let's do this. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna do some tuck jumps. You're gonna use your powerful legs to get your hips up, and then focusing on landing light towards the floor. Before we were using the blocks and we're jumping. Actually, let's do that. All right, we're going to use the blocks and we're gonna jump over the blocks. The higher the blocks, the harder it can get. So what we're going to do is really focusing on stacking the hips and controlling the way down. You can do a tuck jumps, that's absolutely fine, but I want you to really focus on controlling your way down, which means you're really gripping the mat, you're really rounding the spine and keeping the hips up as you slowly lower your legs down. Okay, so we're gonna jump onto the blocks. Look between the thumbs. Breathe in, bend your knees, and then lift, hop, land light. Lift from the hips. If you can, maybe you can press that up into a handstands. Do that a few rounds. To come back down, you can bring your legs slightly apart. You can slowly bend your knees if you need to slowly lower your way down. As you can see, as I come down, I soften my knees. At first, that's what you want to do, to really control the hips. Once you start to feel more in control, then you can get the legs a little bit more straight. Why a lot of people make mistakes is they focus on straight legs right away. And it's too active that it's unable to get the core compression correctly. Okay? All right, let's do that again. Look between the hands. Again, the higher the blocks, the harder it will get. And the closer you can bring the blocks forward, the harder it gets. So pick your poison. Inhale, look between the hands. Hop, hips up, maybe legs straight into a handstand. Ribs in, belly to thighs, land light onto the block. Hips up, lean, 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 belly to thighs, land light forward. Rise up. Whew, not easy. Okay, now we're gonna hop backwards. You can remove the block if you like. You can place a towel between your belly and the upper thighs. Hands down towards the floor. Again, if you need more space, give yourself some space. The closer you are towards your feet, the harder it will get. As you can see, my shoulder is way past my wrist. So that requires a lot of pushing, which eventually you should be able to do it. Exploring progression, okay? All right, so find your waist. I'm gonna bring my hands slightly closer towards my feet, so I wanna go a little bit more intense, a little bit more advanced. Inhale, look between the hands, push the floor, look between the thumbs. I like to lift my toes. I like to lift my toes and then push the floor. I shift my weight onto my hands and get the hips up. Shoot back, walk your hands back. If you can go ahead, get the legs high. Hey, go ahead, get into your press. But again, just really teaching ourselves to have that control of our body. upper body is controlling the most. So you can see my legs are not completely extended. Inhale, look between the hands. Big breath in. You see my elbows bent, externally rotate. Shift your weight onto your hands. Lift up. Now my knees are more extended. I keep pressing to find my alignment. If you can get your handstands, get your handstands. Find your line. Lower belly to thighs. Control your way down. Whoo! Rise up. Breathe. Soften your breath. Relax the neck. Okay. Now, you can use the wall to keep, we're gonna do some drills. We're gonna move our legs up and back, up and back. Do what you can. Maybe it's just 2, maybe it's 3, then that's fantastic. But let's add some more newer drills. For me, I love air hunger. If you want to do some vision drills, convergence, you can also do that. See what works really well for you. For me, I love the air hunger drills. Also maybe gazing down towards the floor and moving your head side to side for vestibular drills. So let's add some air hunger. Take a breath in, exhale out the mouth. Hold your breath and do as many squats as you can. Recover your breathing. Okay, so we're gonna do few reps of ups and downs. Please use the wall as you need. But instead of bringing your legs down completely towards the floor or the blocks, okay, don't completely lower your feet down, just halfway, and then you're gonna bring it back up. Halfway and bring it back up. If having your legs extended is difficult to bring the legs up, tuck your knees towards your chest before extending the legs up. But remember to control your landing. So what I'm trying to say is you can use the wall to do this. You look between the hands, lean onto the hands, shift, shift, shift. Bend your knees to your chest, get the hips to stack, and then extend your legs. And then bend your knees to your chest, lower, and then come back up. Bend, ooh, come back up. Having your knees bent is a lot easier because your core compressing. And then you lower your legs slowly, but don't losing the connection of the lower belly and the upper thighs. And then come back up. That was hard. It's not easy. Please use the wall as you need. And just really working on pressing and pushing and the core compression, rounding through the spine and resisting the ground. All right, let's do that one more round. Option to use the wall and do as many movements as you can that feels right for you. Inhale, look between the thumbs, push the floor, belly to thighs, lean onto your hands, knees into your chest, press onto your fingers,
Get your legs up, push tall, bend your knees, lower, up again, extend, bend your knees, lower, push, resist, 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 up again. Oh my God. Yes, breathe for a moment. Interlace your fingers, circle the wrist. Circle your wrist opposite direction. Then press the palms forward, rounding through the spine. Push, push, push. Inhale, reach your hands up. Arching the back, lifting the chest. Now right hand catch a hold of the left wrist, bend over towards the right side. Breathe into the side of your body, keep the hips stable. Come back to center, switch side. Come back to center, release, circle your shoulders again. Take a moment to breathe. So that's it for this class. It's all about paying attention and making micro adjustment in your practice and understanding how to work with your nervous system and what your nervous system likes can make a shift with your practice. So keep up the work, keep working hard and putting in the effort, but paying attention to your body, paying attention to your mind. Keep growing. See you soon.